Hey, quick update on the accident. You know, it's been about a week and a half ago that Ann and I and the dog, Hachi, were rear-ended at a very high rate of speed. We were getting ready to make a left-hand turn and the other vehicle from behind hit us. Really significant damage to the truck. I don't think they even saw us or slowed down until they made impact. So that truck, the Silverado, is totaled. Bent the frame. It crushed the rear end all the way up to the, not all the way up to the cab, but it pushed it into the back of the cab. Did a lot of damage. You can see the full video about that. But that leaves me with no truck, which I really did not want to be in that situation. But again, thank goodness that we're safe and relatively in good shape. Got some bumps and bruises and stuff going on, but nothing that has stopped us from at least living, so that's good. But anyway, I'm without a truck. I did get this rental, and it's a 2021 F-150. It's kind of neat to be able to try out different vehicles because I had the Silverado, and actually I bought the Silverado because I had an accident about 6 years ago in my old Chevy truck. Again, not at all my fault. I got T-boned in that accident, and that also was really a significant accident that I walked away from with several injuries, but nothing that caused me to stay in the hospital overnight. But that was just a terrible, terrible accident. Anyway, that truck got totaled, which is why I had to replace that and bought the 2014 Silverado. Of course, I bought it used because trucks are so expensive. So now I got this rental, and that's the F-150, and I'm really liking it. I've been a GM fan for my whole life, although I had an old Ford truck, I've had Dodges, but I just tend to like GMs. But I like this F-150. It's got the 5.0 in it, and it is peppy, and I like that. We also pull this camper trailer, so I need a truck that can pull that. So, you know, I know the new Silverados have 4 cylinders in them, which have turbos, and I don't know, they might be really great, but I just don't feel right with a 4-cylinder in a full-size truck. And then they also have V6s. The Fords have these, what is it, EcoTech V6s, twin turbo, that supposedly have more horsepower or more torque than these 5-liter V8s. But again, I just feel like maybe I'm old school and I have a hard time with anything smaller than a V8 in a full-size truck. So that's my dilemma. I know that if I open up the comments here, everybody's going to have an opinion. You've got Ford people, Chevy people, Dodge people, all the brands, even Toyotas. The full-size Tundras are pretty cool. You know, it's a tough place to be in. And then again, new trucks are so darned expensive, and used trucks are also really expensive. So then you're like, well, do you buy a used truck at a higher interest rate, or do you go for a new truck at maybe 0% interest or 1% interest? But then you're paying, you know, $60,000 for a new truck if you get a decent one. So it's so much to think about, and it's a lot of stress. And I put it on myself because I wasn't ready to be here. You know, the 2014 Silverado was a great truck. I planned on keeping that truck as long as I could. Well, I did keep it as long as I could, but I planned on keeping it for a really long time. I was completely happy with it. It was a great truck. Do I want to replace it with another 2014 Silverado? I don't think so. You know, I get to this point where if I'm going to have to replace it, I want to at least go the next model year up. So in 2019, 2020, they changed the Silverados to the new style, and I like those. The Fords have been pretty even as far as styling goes. I think they changed these in 21 just a little bit, but again, it's a tough call. But just so you know, at this point, I'm between the Silverado and the F-150, and because I have this rental and I'm driving it every day, now I'm kind of leaning toward the F-150 because it's a pretty nice truck. If they gave me a Silverado rental, I'd probably be leaning toward a Silverado. If they gave me a Ram, I'd probably be leaning toward a Ram. So that's just who I am. I'm a follower, I guess. Anyway, thanks again for all the concerns about the accident. Like I said, we're doing okay. Nothing broken, and that in itself is a blessing. But it did come with some issues. But you know, like I said, we're upright and moving, so that's what's really important. And Hachi is okay too. The poor girl, the dog was just shaking and just so upset. But she seemed to be doing okay too. So there's my predicament about replacing the truck. It's not going to be brand new, I can tell you that, because I just can't put out the money for a brand new truck. That's just not going to happen. So we're looking at used vehicles. I'd appreciate your input, although I know it's all going to be different opinions, but input is welcome. So thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.